This meeting was called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law. Notices of this meeting were sent to the Courier News and the Star Ledger on January 6, 2015. In addition, copies of notices were posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, on the Raritan Borough website, and filed in the office of the Borough Clerk. Notices on the bulletin board have remained continuously posted. Proper notice having been given, the Borough Clerk is directed to include this statement in the minutes of the meeting. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Kara.
Here.
Councilman Fooey.
Here.
Councilwoman Gara.
Here.
Councilman Giraldi.
Here.
Council President LaBelle.
Aye. Here.
Councilman Sebelia.
Here. Invocation and flag salute by Councilman Giraldi.
Father in heaven, bless us as we gather today for this meeting, guard our minds and hearts, so that we work for the good of our community and help all of our people. Teach us to be generous in our outlook, courageous in face of difficulty, and wise in our decisions. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In accordance with section 29-1 of the Code of the Borough of Raritan, there shall be a 5-minute time limit per speaker. Please direct all questions or comments to the mayor. Impertinent speeches or personal remarks are inappropriate, and anyone who cannot follow the common rules of courtesy or who become boisterous may be asked to leave the meeting room. If reading from a prepared statement, please provide a written copy and email a copy to the Borough Clerk's office after making your comments. Anybody want to say anything for public comments? Seeing no one, move on to the work session. Engineers report.
Hey, that was quick. Orlando Drive Phase 3, I keep bringing this up, but if you go down there now, we have 2 signs posted advertising a public hearing for the next meeting. It's called a scoping hearing that Green Acres requires, so we can then out the back after we transfer Green Acres encumbrance from right-of-way that we spoke. County, not to make without the county knowing it. And we have to convert that to another piece of property at a ratio of 5:1, so the conversion works out nicely for the piece of property for us to put a wall mill. We'll discuss in detail the mechanics for doing that, because we're still on the property, looking for the county to have an easement across that property so we can add that piece of property for their Green Acres inventory. Counties agree with that concept. They asked us to clear up this Green Acres conversion. Once we have a scoping hearing, we'll expect to have a letter from Green Acres saying that they concur with us proceeding to the Orlando Drive Phase 3 construction. We'll work with other paperwork modification. So the scoping hearing is important, and he asked us to post those signs and print it out a sign, public works down there. Victoria Street sidewalks, you will approve that on the 28th. We're waiting for the budget to get that, award that contract. We notified the contractor of our intent to award that kind of schedule for construction next week. 2015 road program, we're working with Public Works to target some areas that need a repair, not roadway construction, just repair work. One area that came up is on North Gaston Avenue. Gentleman there was, gave us some complaints in that regard. It's not the worst one in town. We are not going to we're going to look at. Issue came up last night. The sinkhole that developed on 2nd and 1st. Reached out to local contractor, John Callow. Mark out was called in. We're going today. It was a result of the collapsing manhole. What we did is a permanent patch, but nonetheless, we did have funding from the development. This is the next grant that we have for actual manhole rehabilitation, which just makes the project well enough that we didn't expect it. So what it is, the manholes are laid up brick, old manholes, and every one of those joints now, waters out, where close to 7 collapses, when it happens. The road was done under emergency. We asked us to receive the material. We will be submitting a invoice of $35,200 for work. But the fact that we're going to be approved now, the actual this is now submitted yet, but if you approve it, pay it next meeting, did respond immediately.
That's the John Callow construction? That was for John Callow?
I think just look at Patrick, those are responsible also. And that's my part.
For you, under various road repairs, has Columbus had any come up? Columbus?
Yes, that's actually was the precursor of putting this in, because I put that into the road program for this year. That whole area, Columbus, Richards, all of there, that terrible trench work at the time it was constructed, sort of place soils and wood, consolidate, it's trenching, pressure trenches all over. We're going to do the worst repair. We have somewhat less than 100,000 for some of the roads and sidewalks. So we'll be putting the worst ones together with this back in the hospital.
I'm sorry.
And my other question is, have we heard anything on Johnson Drive as of yet? Because I'm starting to get phone calls on it.
We're working with the attorney who's working with their attorney, and yes, I don't want to say anything. I just wait for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Any
expect
chance it'll be done before winter?
before this which one?
Before we get snow this season, this
I believe
Christmas?
so.
And I think Dan has a question about Citrus and the
I
fire.
have one more item. We have some repairs that we needed over at the firehouse on the back part where recreation uses, repair of the two windows. There's also some leaks up around the roof chimney. In the garage in the back, there, if you look there, there's plywood covering two windows. It's not a problem. So I met with Nick Tozzi yesterday, and he submitted an invoice which would include all material, the purchase of the two windows and the work that has to be done is for $2,150. It's a reasonable cost. I would request that be completed. Also, we've had some issues, continuing issues with leaks around the seals of the windows right out here. And he'd go up and clear out that caulk and recall for $215. So they're two separate proposals.
Can I ask for a vote on these two issues right now?
Yes.
All right,
Yeah, the fund, it's contingent on the funds being available, which they are, but because I received them this afternoon, I couldn't get a formal certification.
Contingent on the availability of funds, I would like to approve the work on 16 Anderson Street Firehouse and siliconing the upper windows of 22 First Street by Nick Tozzi Construction for a total of $2,365.
A second.
Councilwoman Karen?
Yes.
Councilman Fooey?
Yes.
Councilwoman Garrett?
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi?
Yes.
Mayor LaBelle?
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia?
Yes. Rich just pointed out that we didn't vote on Johnny Callen.
I was just
I'm
gonna make a
just gonna do
motion to
that now.
that. Oh.
And the second one is emergency repair in the amount of $5,002 for Cal.
1,200.
5,002 or 200?
Correct.
5,200?
Yes.
$5,200 for sinkhole repair on North Second Avenue.
I'll second that.
Councilwoman Karen?
Yes.
Councilman Fooey?
Yes.
Councilwoman Garrett?
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi?
Yes.
Mayor LaBelle?
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia?
Yes. All right, next, the amending of section 207 of the Borough Code, firewood.
We showed this up before. This
Yes,
has been brought up repeatedly.
I think
Frank,
the bottom line is that Frank wants to add to the wood pile section, wood pallets, because refresh my memory, Rich, we said that about the size of the cord, we wouldn't have to specify.
Right, the cord is-
Definition.
Cord is defined in the measurement, so it's 4 by 4 by 8. So what Frank wants to do is make a requirement that the wood be stacked on pallets.
Well, the Board of Health
And split.
automatically requires that the wood is stacked so many inches off the ground. The wood just can't be on the, you can't just stack your wood on the ground. It has to be so many inches above.
Right.
And that's for rodents and other infestations. So that's actually a Board of Health.
So I'm not sure if Frank is running across properties where this is not being done.
I believe he is, I'm not certain, but from,
I thought we had resolved all this.
Well, I think we
Resolved all
were-
this once.
Yeah.
I thought we resolved it, but it was never,
No, we voted on it, I remember.
There's
There's gotta be a
We
certain distance from the
voted on it.
fences.
And when we passed it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Rich, if it's if it's an automatic through the Board of Health, which is through the county, wouldn't that automatically be incumbent as part of our ordinance? Or do we have to adopt it through our ordinance? Like when we did the housing ordinance, we adopted the New Jersey State Housing Ordinance as part of our, should we adopt?
Incorporated by reference.
Should
right.
we reference it into
I'll look at
ours?
I'll look at what the county has. I actually thought that we had in our ordinance a requirement that it was all. It was,
I thought we
it was-
did.
I thought we
I
did
thought we
too.
did
off
as
the
well,
ground and away from the fence line.
because that's a Board of Health issue.
I'll reach out to Frank.
we'll table this and you can review that
Okay.
and come back to us. Garbage tipping
Wait, wait,
fees.
wait.
Dan,
Maggie, can you please re-put this back on the agenda for the 28th?
garbage tipping fees, Dan?
yes, auditors have have informed both the Borough of Manville and the Borough of Raritan that they need to go formal bids for the tipping fees. Manville's agreed, I've gotten some specs from another town, Manville will take the lead on it, we'll bid it out, we'll get a uniform price, and then we'll be separately billed, but we have to pass a resolution for our participation. Manville has, if you approve tonight, we'll get a resolution and adopt it on the 28th. I just want the council to be very, very clear. The fact that we've not gone out for bidding on tipping fees does not mean that throughout the years we haven't been extremely conscientious in trying to get the best price. I know in my tenure, we had Somerville landfill, Edgeboro landfill, Bridgewater we went to, then Huntington County Transfer Station, we went back to Bridgewater, now we're in Porticos. So the borough, without going to formal bidding, has always tried to get the best price, and also, of course, with consideration of distance, because if you're gonna save 10 cents a ton, but have to drive 40 miles, you're obviously not saving money. So with that in mind, if the council is okay, we'll have a resolution prepared for July 28th. We'll give it to Manville, and then we'll go out to this joint bid.
Dan, is this also because in Portico just came back that the tipping fees are going up?
It
like
isn't,
10?
it isn't.
This is just a
It's a
coincidence?
coincidence, that's correct.
that's fine.
Are we looking to get a better price with more?
We'll try to get the best
Percentage?
price we can, but also be realistic in terms of distance. That's what I'll have to work out with the administrator of Manville.
We're combining it so to get a better price?
That's correct.
All right. Yes. Everybody's in agreement with that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay. North Gaston Avenue and Freeland-Heisen Park trees.
The Freeling-Heisen Park tree has been taken care of today, but I just wanted to talk a little bit about the North Gaston Avenue tree, which we're trying to get county help to remove. We just cannot ascertain what property the tree belongs on, and that's the frustrating part. By practice, if you have a tree and it's not in good condition, whether it's the right of way or not, we'll send Frank Patio there. This is one that we don't know who owns it, and so I'd just like the council to acquiesce to the county removing it in favor to the borough, since the property owner is not
And they're gonna do it for no charge too.
correct.
Right.
I do have another tree issue on Orlando Drive. I guess it's kind of in front of Canal and Wall. There's a huge dead tree that hangs over Orlando, kind of across the street from where the Elizabethtown Water Company is. And there's electrical wires.
If it's in the electrical wires, I have to communicate that to public
I mean,
service.
it's a
Okay,
big.
so that's really, it's a matter of the wires being entangled. Or,
Yeah, well, I mean, the
But wait a
tree's
second,
dead.
Andy, it depends on what side of the road
It's in the
that's
park.
on. Oh, all right, so to say, one side of that's privately owned.
No, it's not, there's a road, park, and then like across the street's Debbie Thomas's house. It's in
Okay.
the park right near the guardrail. I mean, it's, if you drive by, it's a huge tree.
Well, that's the issue on the right of way, it's county.
You think that's the county right of way?
I look at it, but it's county right of
Is
way.
it right where that zigzag is, where the,
Where, yeah, it kinda goes like that, and, yeah, I mean, and then
That is
it's right, like.
Well, we should let them know so that they can do both
Oh,
of
That's
them.
what
at the
I
same
was gonna
time.
do, Stan, if you can, unless you're certain that it is,
Well, I'd say which tree it is, but that's gonna help.
take a look at it, and then maybe
I'll
we
look at it
can,
tomorrow.
Yeah, it's big.
the services of the
You want
county, for sure.
Let me, just if we have a second, to follow up on the Gaston Avenue tree. You don't know the property owner, and you won't. What happens, and there's several spots in this town, any town, where property surveys don't necessarily line up. And when the tax maps are built, there's left with little gaps in between. This is one of them. We call it a survey, we call it or maybe we call it something else, I don't know. They've never been cleared up. I don't remember how many there are. When we updated the tax maps back in 2004, we found some. At that time, it was determined it's not worth the effort to try to clear them up. We would have to do the survey. I don't know how you vacate them, what the legal mechanism is to resolve that. If half goes to one property owner, half goes to the other, like you would vacate a right of way. So we left. And it's been fine until this issue came up with this tree. And we don't know who it belongs to, but that tree is still within the municipal right of way, I know that, it's right behind the curb line, but as Dan says, we would normally have that property owner take it down, they're still responsible for the tree. But in this case, you won't find an owner for that tree.
The property that is on the right of way on the street, or, the area between the sidewalk and the curb, is public domain, they can really do whatever they want with it. So who's responsible for the tree in that area?
We've been saying that it's the property owner responsible for it, just as they're cutting the grass within the right of way. They're responsible for maintenance of the curb and sidewalk if you read your ordinance. So they're responsible for the tree.
Is that in stone anywhere? Because
It's my past practice for many, many years.
we're maintaining the trees on Somerset Street, but we're not maintaining
There's
them on
difference,
some of the, on
and
the side
if
streets.
it's in a park or it's a tree that the borough explicitly planted, and that was even before the trees, we had, I forgot the name of the trees. I'm trying to remember the name, but regardless.
Those were from the shade trees,
Yeah.
those were gifted trees.
Right, but the borough authorized them, the borough,
So the borough is responsible for those trees?
yes, we specifically authorized a tree be put in, and we either pay for it, or it's understood that it be put in, but that the borough will be responsible thereafter.
Now, I printed off the wrong email on the trees, an email from Frank about another tree.
Right. No, we're not going to cut that. That'll be the.
And where is that one located? Is
I
that
believe
in
it's
the-
Second Avenue, 70, I'm not exactly sure.
And that's not a tree that's in the public right of way?
Whether it is or not, if it's clearly a, definable property owner, it's their responsibility.
Then you're telling me that there's no definable property owners on Somerset Street?
No, the borough specifically planted those trees.
Well, they planted some on Anderson Street and Thompson, didn't they?
Somebody would have to verify that it was, and I've gotten throughout the year many times, when I ask people, I said, "Did the borough plant it?" The answer's invariably no.
So they can cut a tree down without permission then?
No, I tell them, no. No, the answer is that you, and I know it may sound at first illogical, but they have to get permission so that there's no shade tree value, which is extremely rare, but number two, that there's no substructure damage.
So we're gonna make them maintain the tree, but we're not allowing them to cut the tree down.
We will allow them to, as long as there's no shade tree value or there is no substructure damage to the engineering review.
Well, technically, Dan, you can't stop someone in this town from cutting down a tree because we don't have a definitive shade tree commission that has an ordinance stopping it, because there's no ordinance on the books that's saying if a tree goes down, a tree has to go up. Like Bernardsville, if you take a tree down without permission, it's a $500 fine for every tree that goes down. Raritan does not have that ordinance on the books.
We don't have an ordinance, it's for policy, but
That's-
I would think it's better that we do discuss it enough with an ordinance.
Well, but what you're saying is what
Right,
Greg
the
could
tree
do.
right away is.
But I understand it, but what Greg is saying, someone can take a tree down right now,
Right.
because it's not
Make
currently on
an
the books.
analogy,
Right.
make an analogous to sidewalk. If the sidewalk's damaged, the homeowner's responsible for it.
Yes.
If they want to remove the sidewalk, they would have to come to us and ask to remove it. We would say no, we want the sidewalk.
And also for anyone who,
Standard sidewalk, they would
anyone
remove
who
it.
informs me that they would like to know what the policy is, and I tell them that they should get approved from the engineer for no substructure damage, there's an awful chance that they remove that tree and do something for their own liability and for whatever else they may cause. So, and I think, I don't know whether we actually have a shade tree commission in the code. We may have one, it's a dormant commission, but we may have one.
We do have one in the code,
Well,
but
then-
it is
then
it is
therefore-
dormant, but there are no actual ordinances on the books that state that you need permission to take one down, is all I'm saying.
I-
Technically,
And
and I mean, I think.
all I'm saying is that I will tell anyone what I've been telling them for many, many years, and even the practice before I was here, which is if you do it, the borough would like to give approval so there's no substructure damage, which is to protect everyone.
And I don't want to start writing ordinances and incur costs for something that happens.
Well, I think we haven't incurred costs for the very reason that I stated.
Well, the only reason you're even hearing about this is because of the situation that came up with this war that we can't find the documents, so we need to work it out. Otherwise.
Well, that and this other dead tree on, which street was this other dead
I
tree?
think it was Second Avenue, but I'm not sure. I would like the council to either vote or at least onto the record that they have no objection to the county removing the tree on
I have no objection.
Any objections? No? No. Okay. I mean, do we want to do anything with shade tree responsibilities or anything, or just let it
Has
go?
it been a problem? If
It
it
hasn't
hasn't
been a
really
huge
been a
problem.
problem, why open up a can of worms? You know, it's apparently it's been taken care of properly. so.
Well,
Didn't we have a
council-
shade tree?
There is a
council
shade
understands
tree.
the policy
There
and what
is,
we're doing.
it's
Right.
a subcommittee through the environmental commission.
No, I get that, but Dan said he's been basically telling people what needs to be done when they do that, so it's not intentional. Right?
it. That's correct.
All right. Paul, Borough Pools?
Yeah, on Sunday, I was driving around and happened to drive through Somerville, and I was on Park Avenue, and their pool was open. And there were scads of people there. It was Sunday, weekend, hot. And on the way back, I happened to run by Frelinghuysen, and our pool was closed, and there's no one there, and nobody using the pool. And I'm thinking, can I have my little second? There's really only 2 months, July and August for the summer. It's 8 weekends. We should have at least one pool open on a Sunday at the day and see how it goes. I mean, the taxpayers pay for it. It's a pool. It's summertime, it's Sunday, people are off. They should be able to have someplace to
It's an
go,
alternative to this one.
to go to the pool. I also happened to go on the website for Somerville, and they have a little system there where on Saturdays, they have 2 pools. They give the option for people to rent a pool. If you want to have a pool party for your kid or a birthday or something going on, they in fact will rent you the pool, and the other pool is open for our citizens, so nobody gets burned. And this might be a nice stream of income for the recreation department, and, you know, I think we need to think outside the box a little bit, and maybe that's something we should do. Could be good money, people will spend a lot of money for their little kiddies' parties. And I think Sunday is important. I think really, one pool should be open for half a day on Sunday. We advertise it, and listen, if nobody shows up, throw it in the garbage. forget about it.
No, it sounds good
But
to
I'm
me.
telling you, Somerville
Yeah.
I think
was
that's a great
packed.
idea.
packed
I
with
like the
people.
pool party thing too.
And the pool party, you got two pools.
Well, what I was
It's
gonna
like
say is,
Somerville.
I have a rec meeting tomorrow night, I'll bring these issues up.
I would like you to push them, Greg, because I think both of them have merit.
And if they're good ideas,
Okay.
thinking outside the box.
All right.
I think they're great ideas.
Thank you.
Any other comments on that? All right, ordinances, second reading, public hearing required, an ordinance of the Borough of Raritan, County of Somerset, State of New Jersey, adding section 260, precious metal gems, secondhand goods to the code of the Borough of Raritan. Do we need to open this up?
Motion open.
Take a motion to open?
Second.
Councilwoman Karen,
Yes.
Councilman Fooey,
Yes.
Councilwoman Garrett,
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi.
Yes.
Mayor LaBelle,
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia.
Yes.
I have some issues with this, so should I ask the audience if they have anything first, or anybody in the audience have any issues with this? Okay. First of all, why are we doing these?
You want to do a motion to close to the public and then.
A motion to close to the public?
Make motion.
Second.
Councilwoman Karen,
Yes.
Councilman Fooey,
Yes.
Councilwoman Garrett.
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi.
Yes.
Mayor LaBelle,
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia.
Yes.
Okay,
And then motion to adopt
I don't want to adopt it until I discuss.
after you get a second, then you open up the discussion.
Okay.
So,
Make a motion to adopt?
Second.
all right, open up for discussion, you can do roll call and open up for discussion.
Um,
Oh, no, open up for discussion, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Get all twisted up.
We
Now you talk.
Now-
Now you can
Now
Okay.
First of all, I don't know why this ordinance was brought up and made up. It's my understanding that we are already required, and maybe the lieutenant can affirm this for me, that we already do this through the prosecutor's office. All the gems stores and everything like that are registered through them, and they already email purchases to the Raritan Police Department detectives. So we're creating extra $300 cost for these local retailers, where there's two in town, for something that we're already doing and required to do by the prosecutor's office.
Greg, if I can jump in, you weren't here when this was first opened. This has actually been brought down by the county. They've asked all the municipalities to adopt this. It's because they are extending the period of time that you need to hold on to everything, because currently the period of time is.
Who's extending it, this ordinance or the county?
This ordinance that they're asking each municipality to adopt this makes the retailer hold it for a longer period of time.
Because they already hold it for 10 days.
It also has you take a picture of the driver's license. There's other things
Which
that
they already do.
well, there's other things in here that are currently not being done.
Well, I'd like to see the difference between, before we vote on this, because to me, this is really just adding a $300 cost to what these businesses are already doing. And I would like to know what the difference between the
You
counties.
might want to ask Lieutenant.
I agree.
Oh,
If
yeah.
there's a difference, we should know what the differences are. If there isn't any, then we
Because
should.
this was from the county,
No, I get
just so
that,
you
but-
know.
Maybe
We
there's
should
no
compare it
difference.
though.
Can we table this to the next meeting then?
So let's table this till the next
You
meeting.
had the public hearing.
I'll
You wanna
make
say
make a
it?
motion, we table
Do
it.
you know what it is?
Very limited.
Who's second?
Linda?
We're gonna table it.
All right, so I have a vote to table this till
I'll make a
we get
motion,
more
we table it.
information from
Chief.
chief.
Yeah,
Okay.
the chief was the
I'll second.
main.
Okay.
There you go.
So who's gonna determine the differences? Somebody gonna look at both?
We'll talk to the chief about that. You
Okay.
want to-
Please come in.
Okay.
Okay. Resolution number.
We're gonna vote, right?
We have
We're gonna vote.
we have to vote on tabling it.
All right,
I'll
We
second.
made a motion.
You made a
Second.
motion, Andy seconded, now you have to vote.
Councilwoman Karen,
Yes.
Councilman Fooey,
Yes.
Councilwoman Garrett,
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi.
Yes.
Mayor LaBelle.
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia.
Yes.
I'll ask the chief to put a specific breakdown and ask them to put it in everybody's mailbox or email it to everybody so they have it prior to the next meeting, so they can do a comparison. Is that sufficient?
That's good.
All right, resolution number 2015-07-83, appointment of firefighters. And the fire department is looking to add 4 new members. Jeremy Danella, Jacob Toy, Ronald C. Link Jr., Edward Vedmisky.
Make a motion.
Make that a second?
Councilwoman Karen,
Yes.
Councilman Fooey,
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara,
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi.
Yes.
Mayor LaBelle,
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia.
Yes.
I need a motion to adopt resolution number 2015-07-84, resolution authorizing execution of an agreement between the New Jersey State Policemen's Benevolent Association, local number 82, and the Borough of Raritan, County of Somerset, State of New Jersey for the contract period January 1st, 2014 to December 31st, 2016.
So moved?
I'll second.
Councilwoman Karen,
Yes.
Councilman Fooey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara.
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi.
Yes.
Mayor LaBelle.
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia.
Yes.
Need a motion to adopt resolution number 2015-07-85, resolution authorizing the Borough of Raritan attorney and other borough professionals to prepare and file a declaratory judgment action for third round Mount Laurel compliance and immunity and authorizing other borough professionals and officials to take such actions as may be appropriate to implement and update to the Borough of Raritan housing plan element of the master plan and the fair share plan for third round Mount Laurel compliance. A mouthful.
So moved?
To undertake a survey of all vacant and undeveloped land in the Borough of Raritan block and lot, to conduct an analysis of the borough's housing stock, and to conduct such other studies as may be determined necessary.
So moved?
Second.
Councilwoman Karen,
Yes.
Councilman Fooey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara.
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi.
Yes.
Mayor LaBelle.
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia.
Yes.
We have a purchase order from the Department of Public Works to purchase a pickup truck, a Bayer Ford, in the amount of $33,150.50. And there was a certification of funds.
Make that motion.
And this state contract, just
State contract, yeah.
Second?
Councilwoman Karen,
Yes.
Councilman Fooey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara.
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi.
Yes.
Mayor LaBelle.
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia.
Yes.
Does anybody have any correspondence they would like to bring forward?
No.
At this point, I open up the floor to public comments. Would anybody like to make a comment? Seeing no one, I make a motion for adjournment.
Second?
I move.
Councilwoman Karen,
Yes.
Councilman Fooey.
Yes.
Councilwoman Gara.
Yes.
Councilman Giraldi.
Yes.
Mayor LaBelle.
Aye.
Councilman Sebelia.
Yes.